in here now. I can see what I'm doing. I'll probably take a couple lights and shoot them up as I'm going. And nothing fancy here. I'm just going to get this air sealed. Our vents, we've got aluminum soffit vents, runs all the way around. And so the reason it's cold in here, even running the heat, is we got air blowing in here, you know. So once I get that done, it's going to definitely warm this up. Welcome back in the series. We want to insulate this garage. I didn't film the first one. I wanted to try it on our scaffolding we set up. And I took up a whole roll of R19 and I tried to install it up through there, but the weight of it's so much overhead that it wanted to tear. So what I did is I brought down the insulation and I placed it against the wall over here. And I measured. Well, prior I measured up here. Across the beam is 13 feet from there to the beam. So I've got a piece of plywood down. I measured from the wall to here in the center of that board is 13 feet. So then I just take a 2x4, set it around here, take your knife, and cut right through it. Sometimes a couple cuts, doesn't get all the paper. Sometimes it doesn't get all the paper. Probably got this ladder in the way. We still are a little crowded in here. There we go. So a 13 feet would do real well up there. And I don't have the seams. Every time you have a seam, there's a chance of leakage if you're not going to do a vapor barrier. So the paper is our vapor barrier, so what I want to do is keep it in good shape. So if I can go to the center of the beam and then start with the second one, I've only got like 2 seams on the ceiling. If I did 4-foot sections or bats, 93 whatever inch bats, I put them up there, I'll have a seam all the way up through there, and then you got to tape it, you know. So then I just grab my roll, walk down to the wall. Like I said, this ladder's in the way here. I'll slide this down, make this cut better. This one may not be 13, and it's not going to be, because that's our third piece out of it. So, I'm not going to cut that one, but I got one, and I'm going to use this Ryobi stapler. I got a real good deal during Ryobi days. This is a, reach it. This is just a compression drive stapler, and it's a 3/8, and you can do wire also by sliding this down, and has a little belt hook you can put on either side of you if you're on a ladder. I got this ugly sweatshirt on, so keeping me a little bit warm. We got about 55 degrees in here, and it's like 18 outside. It's pretty cold. So I got 3/8 staples. And then I threw a 3-amp battery I had in there. And you can control the depth by turning the top. And this model is a P317. A really good deal. They had Ryobi days where you get 2 4-amp batteries and a free tool. And that was not included. And I said, well, I got everything else. I said, I need this. I don't need it. But if you get up here and using a boss stitch or whatever, you know, and you do boop, 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 all of this, all the walls, all this, you're going to get carpet tunnel, right? So I got a slapper, you know, had for years. It works every other time. And when you're hitting it, sometimes you slip and you tear in the paper. So then you go back to the hand stapler. And like I said, that was a deal, so it's a free tool. So I'm excited. I did some up here, and it's looking good. It works good. It sets the depth nice. I came up to this beam on the first one. I might keep that shorter section to go from the beam up, because I can stand up and do them. Or I could just throw a piece of tape on the seam. I'd like to keep it as seamless as possible. And what I did over here to get our wood stove installed is I just cut a bunch of 5-footers and threw them in, just so that I can at least get my drywall and, you know, get the stove installed. So there is seams there. I'll tape them up. Not a big deal. But I don't want a bunch of pieces up here. And these rolls, I believe, are they 40 feet long? I gotta see here. It's R19 face, 39 feet 2 inches. So I need a bunch of 13s. So that's what I'll do. The pieces, I'll continue run up that way. And I want to do this to the least amount of waste. If I have to piece it, I'll piece it. But, you know, more work's more work. So careful measuring. So I'll put you on time lapse. You can watch this. I'm going to jump up on the scaffold. I think I can do at least 3 more rows. I can't do the first row until I get some 2x2s installed up there. They actually ripped a 2x6 down to about 5 inches or whatever. So I've got to cut 2x and put up there so that my ceiling continues across level. Well, you get the general idea. It's not super easy, but it's a whole lot better than that ladder. I folded back the paper on the end. It's a 2x4 wall, so I got about 4 inches of insulation out over. Tore the paper down, folded and stapled to keep my vapor barrier going. I can't reach up here by the beam. I got to move the scaffolding over a little bit. But the paper or the insulation will go up to the beam. And the roll there is 39 feet 2 inches, so I can get about 13-foot pieces and get 3. And that way the only seam will be right up here by the beam. And that's as much as I can reach before I do 2x2 against that wall. And then I got to cut pieces to go around the 2x6s that go out over the rake end, and I got to work on that next. So you get the general idea. I'll show you as progress goes, maybe when we get scaffolding stacked higher and move along to the other side. And I'm going to quit for now and run out and get some lumber made up. I got some 2x stock I'll rip and complete that. And then also, while I can reach it, I might as well go ahead and do the R13 in the wall and do the wall insulation right now too. And when you have wires in the way, you just tear your insulation and get some on the outside, some on the inside, so that you're not mashing it in. You got to allow your fiberglass to float. You don't compress it. And I'll be cutting it on that 412 pitch. So I'll take a measurement, like say that second bay over there, it's about a 11, and then you add, you know, it's about 16 inches on center, so you add 4 inches per foot, and I'll cut that angle. And then, well, this is one of the more difficult projects I've had. Reason is the angles. Everything's angles. I had to run a 2x2 up here to square out my corner. And then once you do that, you can see up here, you don't have much left to hook your drywall to. So I'm thinking of either doing the drywall right now prior to the ceiling, which is backwards from what I usually do. Or I guess I can hook it just to the studs at a later date. But You see those wires there. I split my insulation in half and put insulation behind that and then insulation in front of it and cut it around the box. Try to pull the paper as tight as I can and make sure there's no gaps. And then I haven't done up here yet because I can't reach it. So I'm going to just concentrate on this area right now so that once I move, I don't have to come back here. And I'm considering going at least 2 more bays of insulation because I can reach that without moving the scaffolding. And then instead of continuing my drywall from there over, instead of taking this garage door assembly apart, it works fine now, I can start my drywall right there and do one full piece to here, and then around that little, I don't know if you can see it, but they got a metal bracket because of that I-beam. There's no wood there to attach to, so I didn't want to cut that off. So part of that's not going to be drywalled. I'm going to have to just cut around it, and then I'll have to caulk it. But that way I can stay right in one section, get up a sheet of drywall, and keep going. Well, I'm struggling a little bit moving around in here. Garage door opener's in the way, lift's in the way. If I put it up and lock the wheels, and it's pretty level, I can get up there and reach. I got up to the beam here, and now I gotta finish the insulation. I moved a bunch of stuff. We still have too much in here, but it's going pretty smooth. Well, I got the drywall lift sitting on the car lift there, and I can't get it too level, so I propped it up with some firewood blocks. It's working. I got my insulation up on half of the garage. It's working out good, R19 faced. And then drywall, I'm fighting it, trying to get it up there because it's difficult. Cathedral by yourself and when you don't have a level floor. Well, if I start on this wall, I want to go at least to the steel pole holding up the I-beam. So that'll be this half a bay. And I've got an outlet, that light, and the lift assembly pump in the way. But now that we've got our my cable in here. Why don't we just use this? Got the cord disconnected. I'm wound up here. Got this little chain binder thing I threw on here. I don't know why that wouldn't work. And that looks safe enough, right? Take the weight off it. Why can't I just lift this thing up off of here? Because the thing is kind of heavy. And the way it mounts is kind of weird. It's got, shouldn't say it's weird, but the bracket's kind of small. There, get the weight off it. The bracket's way back here, and obviously there's nothing on this side, but there's 2 bolts on this side. And what I don't really want it where it is, but the other toolboxes were here before, and the hydraulic line that runs through here is quite long, and I can go either direction, but I kind of want to get it a little farther over. So the final spot might be between these two. And after I get the drywall, insulation drywall on there, I'll probably put a piece of plywood on so I can do all 4 fasteners and or extend this bracket. I don't understand why they didn't go beyond the motor. So I got a swivel socket, little 7/16. Let's see if I can get in there. We put it on with a wrench. It took forever. Maybe it'll work here. Got it better. Going a little fast. Doing evenly. But yeah, the bracket isn't really big enough for this. There's one bolt. I don't know why that wouldn't work. I might just keep it suspended from this for now, because I can wheel it right back here out of the way. And these are just a lag bolt. These are 1.5 inches. There, I can move it out of the way. Make sure we got going the wrong way. Make sure we got enough tension on it here. I think that'll work. Sure, looks safe enough. It's what you do when you're by yourself. Because Dawson helped me put this up here, and he's not here right now. So, probably going to swing out at my face here. There's the bolt gone. So, I think we got her. I don't know how balanced it'll be. Looks safe enough, right? And I can, of course, lower it down. But that's probably 100 pounds here, and it's full of fluid. Yeah, I can go up, I can go down, bring it out away from the wall. Check it out, isn't that cool? Our first object of weight on here. Change out of the way. And I'll lower it down in a safer position. Not electric, but it's not fast, but it sure is convenient, you know? I like it. I'll bring it down to just about touch the floor and touch the floor. This will be out of the way. Ladder. I'm going to take this thing, lift it off. It's not going to go very far. It's got about, take a little over a gallon of fluid. There we go. I like that. And so, just wanted to show you, that's kind of cool. Now we're going to start on insulation in the wall. I took the blower, blew the dust out. Now we're gonna probably end up trimming around the window, cut off some of the spray foam they originally put in, and then we can start on some drywall. Well, I got this wall insulated, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get the drywall put on it. So I got this wall drywalled. So we got the gable end done. You can hear things echoing in here now. We got ceiling done. We got this gable end above the garage door. The only one we got to do yet is this north wall. It's got plywood on it. It is insulated behind it. But we got 26 sheets of drywall sitting in front of it. Now, if I get some help, we get a spot to move it, we'll move it out of the way so I can put on the last, 3 and a partial sheets here and finish this up and that end so that we can mud and tape. Talking a lot of stuff in here still, aren't we, Dawson?
Yeah.
We took the stairs down, and that was just how many screws? I don't know.
10, probably.
Whatever, on the hinges.
Yep.
And so we brought the stairs down, get them out of the way for now, because whether they're up or down, I can't put the scaffolding here. The scaffolding is going to be kind of close to the lift here, but if we go up, you see that? We can go up, and I think I can go up at least one section. If I go up 2, it should make it because it'll be 10 feet tall, a little over. And what we also did is moved all the drywall over here, except the 3 sheets that we need. And so I'm going to go ahead and drywall that wall and then that end wall, and then we can start mudding. So the end of this story will be when I get the walls installed. I'll probably do the taping and so on another video, but at least Dawson helped me move all this weight out of the way, and then we'll get around in here, because now I think a better view here is we got a garage door opener, that steel I-beam, and then this little mezzanine loft thing. If we can get right between the two, 5 foot should fit if I turn the scaffold this way. And I think we can reach this up here. That's a diagonal brace for the overhead garage door. Probably not necessary now. It's up through that floor. So anything we can get out of the way and go straight up would be the best. So I'll start on that probably tomorrow and see what we can get done. Okay, there we have it. I got this wall done. Remember, it's got plywood behind it, but I wanted to keep this consistent. This is a location of the studs. That way when I go to put pegboard or screw a shelf to the wall, I know that I'm going to catch into more than just 1/2-inch plywood. I want to make sure it's going to be secure. I got this little down bracket. I could use that to attach something to, like a shelf also, keep it sturdy. Otherwise, I got to grind that off. I almost hit my head on that. But the only problem we got around these columns, that's a you know, the pipe to hold up the I-beam. I think what I'm going to do with them is put a 2x2. In this case, I probably don't have to do a 2x2, but if I put some kind of nail around here, it'd be good. And then if I put a pocket on the outside and then back over to the door,
then that'll seal this area off. I can put a pocket of insulation in there. I can do the same above the door header, is put a layer of insulation in there, come up and back, and then I can paint that. The main I-beam up there, we're fine because the insulation goes over top of it. But this gable end wall is done. So this half of the garage is finished. So now we can go ahead and mud it. And the reason I want to do that is because of the mess in here. It'd be nice to take these items, shove them over on that side, clean the floor, clean everything, start mudding, spackling, get at least one good coat on there. See how smooth I can do it. Couple spots there. The drywall come out of this 5/8 fire code come out of the cull pack. Had damaged corners, so I got to fix that a little bit. But I'm definitely going to use the fire code where I can, especially around this wood stove. You can hear it echoing in here now. But everything turned out pretty good. I got electric on the wall here, so I think I want to do some kind of bench in this area that's portable, or a flop down bench. I like them flop downs because it gives you space. If I'm working, the lifts are over here, and I want to do tires or something, pull them off, do brakes, I can put my rolling seat here so that I can back up and not have a cabinet or a bench in my neck. I can drop that down. I have a steel table I might be able to do that with. Be nice to have a welding table in here. But I think I'm going to prime and get some kind of maybe gloss paint in here so that if I wash a car in here or something and it splatters, it's easily cleaned off the paint. And I'm not going to be too concerned because it's a garage, but it's going to be so much better. On the base, remember we did about almost a 2x3 to come out to the edge of the blocks. I don't know why they didn't just put a 2x10 or 12 on there to begin with. And that squares that off. Then I put drywall on the face and on the top, and then I came out with some flashing. And that's basically by the wood stove. I didn't want any sparks or anything sitting or hanging around there. So the rest of the room, I don't know if it's necessary, but I don't like the pockets on them blocks visible. They filled some where, where the anchor bolts are, but that's just a foolish way to leave things. And so I want to finish that off, and then I want to get painting in here. Follow along with the project. This is going to be probably over the winter months. I got a couple other things I want to do. We did try out our Beaver a trolley crane with the chain falls. It's holding up the lift, which is about 100 pounds right now. So that's the only weight we put on that thing. And it works great. And it slides across. Dawson liked to play on that. And we got some uses we want to do with that, jacking things up, or loading the trailer up. So thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. And we'll see you soon. I'll probably do a video on the mudding maybe, or at least either a short, or maybe I'll do a time lapse. That's the boring part. But that would finish off the cracks, the seams, anything where dust and dirt can get in. And anything around a heating appliance, I want it sealed up properly. And, fire code drywall. So we're in good shape. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.